Hi guys, Jeff at Slavens Racing. This is the latest build I just did this week. This is November, first week in November and of 2017. And so last year I bought two 17-300s with the intentions of building two different styles. I'm just changing things up from one to the other. And I never got around to building the second one. I built one right away. I've been riding the hell out of that thing all season. Absolutely love it. And so I just now did this build this week. And just an FYI, the 2018 models are identical, except for the fuel injected models. And you know, everything about them, the chassis, the engine, everything's the same except for the color of the frame and the graphics. In the industry we call it a BNG year, a bold new graphics year, which means they did almost nothing. So 17s, 18s, same bike, everything fits from one year to the next. So I'll go through this one, what I've done with it. So we'll start down here. It has tubeless. I run tubeless on everything with a Bridgestone M59. Over here I've got a Galfer oversized brake rotor. Our Galfer makes the stock rotors as well, but this one's 10 millimeters larger. So the stock is 260, this one's 270. And you know, I was approached about a year ago. A company sent me an oversized rotor. I never even put it on because I thought, you know, what the hell do I need a bigger rotor for? I'm a trail rider. These things have got strong brakes. And then this summer, I was on a ride and I switched bikes with the guy and he had one on. And I was totally impressed with how much better it made the brake feel. It doesn't make it feel more touchy. It actually makes it feel less touchy because you don't have to squeeze the lever as much to get the response that you want. It works very well, especially on 4-strokes. I mean, I like it on these 2-strokes, but I like it even better on my big 500 because those things are hard to stop. So it comes with, you know, that black mounting bracket, so the different offset there for the larger diameter. And you can probably see in there's a bolt hole, so you can put an odometer cable in there, and then the rotor itself, the disc has a hole right there to put a magnet, so if you want to do that. I don't use an odometer, so I don't have one on there. I've got these new Acerbis port guards. I really like these. Sorry, we've got some kind of weird light up here. I'm just out on the trail today, and these things are great. They've just been hard to get. Didn't bring enough of them in. So here I've got the Xtrig Rocks Clamps. And Xtrig makes excellent products, made in Germany. And these are a 20 or 22 millimeter offset. They're adjustable either way. I've got the stock offset is 22 millimeters. I've set these at 20. I think it gives the bike a more planted feel. And then here it's got an Enduro Engineering lighting kit. It's got the headlight and tail light assembly. And you're going to see this yellow rag on here. And guys, I'm sorry, but I've got some prototype handlebars on here and I cannot show them to you. These bars are going to be available sometime next year, probably around February or March. But I'm sworn to secrecy on them right now. I can tell you they're great, but that's all I can tell you about them right now. So I'm sorry I've got that part covered up. I've got these Acerbis handguards. Now these are just a composite handguard, a plastic handguard. And the reason I put these on this time was I have hurt my hands 3 different times. Damaged them badly from the handguards, getting them caught in there in a crash and just beating the hell out of the top of my hand to where I couldn't even ride for several weeks. So I'm trying to get around that problem, so I'm trying these. They've got some give to them. You'll also notice in here bulletproof radiator guards. I run those on everything, been running them for years. Those are the top of the line radiator guard, period. I don't care about the ones with the, you know, there's the guys out there that have the ones with the louvers in them, all those other little things. You know, the snake oil guys got some with louvers. They fit like crap. They do not increase the flow. These increase flow. I've got a higher pressure radiator cap on there. I've got the Acerbis oversized tank. I think it's a 3.1, maybe 3.1, 3.2. I think it's a 3.1. Always go with these Seat Concepts comfort seats. Fantastic seat. Way better than have that board up your butt from the stock seat. Down here you can see it's got one of our proprietary S3 mule heads. These heads are not like any of the other S3 heads on the market. These are made to our specs, not the shell itself, the inserts, the dome, the combustion chamber part of it, made to our specs. Over here you can see I've got a Trailtech fan kit, as well as silicone hoses from Samco. Now the motor is not ported or anything. This head, combined with the Electron carburetor and the V-Force reeds, this thing runs exceptionally well. I also run the Fmf fatty pipes. They've got this very similar power band to the stock pipes, only more power everywhere. And then this is a P3 carbon guard. My goal on this bike was to keep it extremely light as possible. That's why I went with this carbon guard this time. And you're going to see a new item right here. It says choke on it. So that's a remote choke cable for electrons. We've got those in stock now. And it definitely makes it easier than trying to get your hands in there, especially if you have big paws like me. Down here I've got the Axp Extreme Skidplate. Excellent product. Absolutely excellent. Xavier over there at Axp in France does a great job. And here I've got a Recluse CX clutch. Very responsive, excellent lockup. This is a very, very nice clutch. It's going to be extremely durable. I'm looking forward to roosting on it. Oh, now here's some of the good stuff. Jeremy at MX Tech built me a whole new shock. It's got a different reservoir. It's got a triple adjuster on it, which is different. It's got a different shock body, different adjuster. And down here, it's combined with Pro Circuit Linkage. Now, this is not just the dog bone. It's not just this piece. It's also this piece up in here, the Delta link. So the triangular shaped link. This is a completely different linkage ratio. It's not one of those Mickey Mouse longer links that lowers the back of your bike or any of that crap. Those are all a joke. So this new leverage ratio, I'll probably have to do a separate video on that after I get some more time on it, but so far so good. It feels like what I was looking for. And I'll get into that in a different video. Here, instead of the plastic guards, I've got P3 stick-on guards, and those things are extremely tough. I've used them on other bikes. They work very well. They last a long time. And of course, I've got Lance's XC foot pegs here. The what are these called? The Spurs pegs. I've got these on all my bikes now. I absolutely love them. Big platform, which adds to the comfort. They also rotate slightly, which adds to comfort, and then they have cushioning in all directions. So at the end of the day, your foot feels a lot better. Had one guy tell me he couldn't tell the difference. Well, I don't know what his problem was, but these things are much more comfortable than stock. And then I've got my stainless steel Slavens foot peg pins in there. Just reduces wear, keeps the foot pegs nice and snug. You can see I've changed the coloring on the bike some. Got rid of all that white that it's hard to keep looking good. Yeah, this is a Fmf Turbine Core 2.1. I took the decal off of it because I just don't like the red and yellow graphics on that decal against the orange. I think it looks bad, so I changed that. The bike has got Slavens graphics on the back and on the shrouds. I'm out of the front ones right now, but I'll get those on later. And back here I've got tubeless as well, combined with a Moto Z Arena Hybrid Gummy. And I've got one of these on my 500 and I absolutely love it. This is my latest favorite. A little pricier than some of the other gummy tires we have right now. I think these are around $90, but they hold up, at least for me, they hold up exceptionally well. No matter what tire I test or promote or do a video on, somebody will send me in a little nastygram, oh, I tore that piece of junk up in 50 miles, and then somebody else will send me an email saying, oh, that thing lasted forever. I didn't think I was ever going to wear it out. Got 1,200 miles out of it or something. So that's just the way tires are. I mean, everybody's got their own opinions, and they're welcome to them. But this is a good performing tire, which gives a good tread life for a gummy style tire. I've got a friend with the same basic tire, only the desert version, which is extremely hard rubber, and we ride together all the time, and his tire's not lasting any longer than the gummy. It's totally amazing. I forgot to show you down here. I've also got one of our linkage guards down here, and I use that because I've got this double, this extra thick Axp guard on here, but still, if you really bash that really hard, you can still damage the linkage unless you have that guard, that orange guard on there. So I run both. I try to make my bikes as bulletproof as possible. I don't like working on them. I like riding them. So once I build them, I want them to last a long time. So now I'm going to switch over to the other side. So on the other side here, you can see I've got a domino throttle assembly on there, and that's to match up with the Electron carburetor. The stock throttle and cable assembly will not work with Electron, so that's why that's been switched. I run the stock grips, the ODI bolt-on grips, and with our Electron kits, they come with the cam, the throttle cam, so that you can use your stock grips with the domino throttle housing. I've got stock levers on here right now. I'll probably be changing those to Midwest. And one thing I forgot to put on this bike also, that's not up here right now, is a left-hand rear brake kit. I'll be putting on a Recluse left-hand rear brake kit real soon. I just totally spaced it out. I should have done that today. But I love the left-hand brakes. So down here you can see the Electron carburetor. So I'm constantly testing new setups on these carburetors, new miscellaneous pieces on these carbs. This one has a float bowl drain in it, and it has a different metering rod and a few other little things. It's vented a little differently. So we're constantly improving these carburetors. These are proprietary to us. Ones that you buy from other Mickey Mouse places do not have all these latest, greatest mods. And like I said, this one has got the choke kit on it, which you can see the cable right there. And I've got V-Force reeds in there, the V-Force 4. Excuse me. Gearing and chain. I run the stock front sprocket 13, the stock chain. I usually get 80-90 hours out of these chains, so I run them until they're dead, and then I put on something else. I'm probably going to change to an Iris whenever this one's worn out, which is a new brand we have from Spain. On the back, I've got 52 tooth sprocket on it. Stock is 50. And this is I forget the name of this one. Anyhow, we carry these aluminum sprockets. Most of our sales are the hybrid style that have the aluminum center and the steel outer ring, but I wanted this bike as light as possible, so I went with this. And there again you can see the foot pegs. I've also modified the air box. Sorry, the lighting's weird here. It's going to make the bike look weird color, but underneath the seat, right at the moment I'm running a stock battery. I'll eventually switch that over to one of the other lithiums that we sell. And I've modified the air box, and I've put in an SX ignition. So let me see right here. I just see something else on this. So I moved the hour meter from the triple clamp to here, just to make it easier for me to read. And I'm trying to think what else I might have missed here. Oh, suspension on the front. So the front end's been all revalved. It's got the MX Tech TAC-R system, which gives you an extra air chamber makes it plusher on the small bumps and gives it more bottling resistance on the big bumps. So I've got that on my other bike, absolutely loved it, so I put it on this bike, along with I revalved it. And the valving, you can get that exact valving from Greg at Factory Suspension Works. And that's not the guys on the East Coast, that's Factory Suspension Works here in Colorado. It's not a chain, it's a one-man show. He does excellent work. I'm sure there's some other things I'm forgetting here, I always do. Ignition, of course I went in and put a double gasket on that just to make sure the wire didn't rub. You can see over here it's got the adjuster for the recluse clutch, because like I mentioned before, it's got the CX. I think that's about it, guys. It's this is its first ride, and just the first little bit of riding it. It feels excellent. I'll be pounding the hell out of it over the next few weeks and give you a report on that suspension, that rear suspension, because that's one of the main changes on this bike. I think that's all for now.